Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys of Magic. This is Hunter, David, and Shane. Say what up, boys.
What's up, boys?
What up, nerds?
David, long time. Welcome back.
I know, it's been a minute.
You switched with Steven. We have January 20th, 2023 spoilers to get to for Phyrexia. All will be one. Not too many again. I think the leak, we haven't really talked about the leaks too much, but the leak really messed with this whole spoiler season. Like they threw out a ton day one, and then it's just been kind of trickling out. What do you think, David? Do you think the leaks messed things up?
I think that they're trying to tell a story. I do think that the leaks probably messed them up too, though. I don't know. Today is pretty light.
Yeah, today's light. So let's just go ahead and get right to it with the rares and mythics. This first one is Kethek, Crucible, Goliath. Kethek, Crucible, Goliath is 2, a black and a red, for a 4/4 legendary creature, Phyrexian Beast. It says at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card with lesser mana value. Put it onto the battlefield, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Kind of a different route of putting a lesser creature onto the battlefield.
Can't be a token, unfortunately, but there are a lot of creatures that care about dying.
True. What do we think, Dave? You are our resident Rakdos.
I actually hated this card whenever I first saw it, and the more that I think about it, the more I kind of like it. So, like, the reveal a non-legendary creature card can actually kind of be a good thing, because if you stuff your deck full of a bunch of legendaries, and then, like, the one non-legendary creature that you guaranteed want to hit, you can kind of, like, control what this thing pulls from your deck. If that
That
makes
is
any
true.
sense.
Just
That makes sense.
specifically look for the one non-legendary creature.
I mean, you could. Plus, generally speaking, I mean, Rakdos does sacrificey things all the time. So you can, I don't want to say upgrade your creatures because you're going to be sacrificing and grabbing something for a lesser value. But I mean, this is a continuous sack engine every single turn.
I like that idea, dude.
It is a continuous sack engine stapled on a potential commander, which we will get more in depth in our commander grades. I don't know how I feel about standard environment though. I don't think this is that good.
I actually think I prefer this in standard. I don't want to talk about it for EDH yet, but I think that standard is probably where I would play this.
Why?
Because it's just up my alley. It's a weird fringy card and Rakdos sacrifice.
The fringe guy. Shane, how do you feel about this?
I think you can maybe play some kind of not definitely not a combo game, but with a 60 card deck and only a few non-legendaries, you could, like you said, you can definitely like kind of make sure your deck is doing the same thing every time, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Kethek. Does this Kethek, Dave? Have you been reading the story? Do you know anything about Kethek?
I don't think that a lot of the legendary creatures actually have a storyline, and I'm not familiar with Kethek. I have been kind of skimming through the stories, not necessarily like really sitting down and reading them.
Okay. Well, Kethek, Crucible, Goliath, interesting card, but sticks to kind of the Rakdos thing. Next up, we have Argentum Masticore. Argentum Masticore is 5 generic mana for a 5/5 artifact creature Phyrexian Masticore. It's got first strike and protection from multicolored. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Argentum Masticore unless you discard a card. When you discard a card this way, destroy target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to the mana value of the discarded card.
Very
This
interesting too.
is kind of cool card design, to be honest.
Yeah, dude. If there was madness in standard right now, dude, that'd be sick.
That's kind of where my brain went immediately with this too.
Yeah.
It's like Madness or Hellbent.
That'd be so cool.
You think they'd add it in future sets coming?
Maybe. We haven't seen that mechanic in a minute, have we?
Not those mechanics per se, but I mean, there's always like some element of graveyard recursion. Plus, I don't know. I mean, this is just a pretty neat card. I do think that with this being a 5 mana, I don't know. Maybe he's playing like a mono green deck or something that could use its removal.
Yeah, it is pretty top heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you better hope that you're discarding a card that's relevant. I mean, at some point, discarding things is gonna suck, right? So you're just gonna let this die, but at the
Yeah, but
same
if you're
time, if you want removal, you're having to get rid of your big things.
This is a
Yeah.
5/5 with first strike, and it's got a somewhat protection clause. I mean, protection from multicolor isn't going to save it from a lot of things, but it's still somewhat relevant. Like, your opponent is still going to be heavily incentivized to kill this thing. So I
Yeah.
don't know how often you're going to get to that point where it's eaten your hand, and now you're sitting there thinking, okay, well, I think I have to sacrifice this.
Yeah, I just think at it. I just look at it like there's going to be a point where you don't want to get rid of the cards in your hand.
Of course, yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, interesting card design. I'm here for it.
Kinda like it, yeah.
different, something fresh. Moving on to another artifact. This is Tablet of Completion. Tablet of Completion is 2 generic mana for an artifact. You can tap it to put an oil counter on Tablet of Completion. You can tap it to add a colorless, activate only if Tablet of Completion has 2 or more oil counters on it. And it has another ability we can pay 1 and tap it to draw a card, activate only if Tablet of Completion has 5 or more oil counters on it. So a slow mana rock. Slow draw.
Slow. I mean, yeah, very true.
From what we've seen so far, how many cards put oil counters on other cards? Because, like, I feel like most of them put them on themselves.
There's like a handful that you can move them.
There is a card spoiled today that we're not talking about that actually did specifically say things would get an additional oil counter when it came in.
No, I'm more so talking about, like, I don't know, for example, like a creature that says whenever it enters the battlefield, you put an oil counter on target permanent you control.
The only thing I can think of is we saw a land that entered with 2 oil counters, and you can move them off the land onto something.
I just don't think that this card would be very good unless there's a way that you can, like, start manipulating those oil counters to put them on this instead. Like,
You could
it does
proliferate too.
nothing. Yeah, you can, but, like, this on its own does nothing for 2 mana.
Well, you get on the turn that you play it, you could tap it, add 1, and then on the next turn tap it. Yeah, exactly. It's really slow. And once it gets 2, you can tap for a mana if you want.
So, like, on
Yeah.
turn 4, this taps
Yeah.
for a mana. Like, this doesn't seem good at all.
Yeah, no, it's unless you're playing the game where you're moving oil and or proliferating, or I don't know. Like Hunter said, super, super slow.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's the first time we've seen a mana rock in a while that cost 2, but it's slow.
It's a bummer. It would be cool if it activated as mana with 1 on it, so it could be on turn 3 tapping for a land. That could be more like appropriate because we have 3 drops in EDH of their rocks, but unfortunately not.
Yeah, you just have to. I don't know. It's weird. Moving on to Vraan Executioner Thane. Vraan Executioner Thane is 1 on a black for a 2/2 legendary creature Phyrexian vampire. Says whenever 1 or more other creatures you control die, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This ability triggers only once each turn. We have a
Bummer.
bigger, badder Blood Artist.
Emphasis
But it's
on
only
the
once per
batter.
turn.
Badder
It's
as
only-
in worse.
Yeah,
Got it.
This has
Yeah,
every safety valve.
Yeah.
It's got the 1 safety valve. Right.
Hunter was reading it, and I was like, ooh, David's gonna love. Just kidding.
No, it has so many once each turn. I'm surprised, in all honesty, that you don't have to pay mana and tap it to have its ability activate. Like with
It's when
the
1
or
or
more
more
creatures.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, so
you're
if you
right.
have 5 creatures die, you hit them for 2.
Yeah. Let's say it's got 2 valves, dude. Bummer.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird legendary.
I mean,
By
I
weird,
guess
you mean not
this,
that good.
I guess this incentivizes you to, like, kill your things on your opponent's turns, which I guess I don't know, that could be cool.
Yeah, it's a
It is a
weird
bear.
legendary.
Hey.
I mean, yeah, 2 mana 2/2. Cool.
Yeah, I like that, dude.
Yeah, but this is such a worse Blood Artist. It's unbelievable.
Actually, I don't know. The more that I'm thinking about this, and I know that it has all those safety valves on it, but in a game of, like, standard, this means anytime your opponent attacks, if you jump block or just, like, block and cancel each other out, like, they're going to lose 2 life, you're going to gain 2 life. That actually might start to drain, and then you put this in, like, a sacrifice deck. I'm talking myself into it. You know what, Vraan, you're going in a Kethek build. We're doing Rakdos Sacrifice. Vraan's in it.
Perfect, David.
You're
I
playing
love it.
standard? What?
Yeah, well, no, absolutely not. But this is a legendary creature that would fit into that, so I can sacrifice him away, all right, and then go get that non-legendary that I really care about. He's low to the ground. He kind of does things. I'm trying to talk myself more into this.
Hey, you like it, dude.
So I'm going to read the flavor text real quick because it's interesting. Soon enough, each praetor will have hired me to kill the others, and I will stand alone as the true father of machines. So
Yo,
this guy just going against the grain.
he wants to be with the mother of machines, dude.
They kill each other. He's trying to kill the praetors.
I mean, they're not exactly friends.
True.
I feel like Phyrexia is like dog eat dog.
It's very dog eat dog.
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. The father of machines. He's
It is interesting.
saying that he's not really loyal to anybody.
There we go, dude. Vraan, next Yawgmoth.
Moving on to Mindsplice Apparatus. Mindsplice Apparatus is 3 and a blue for an artifact. It has flash. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, put an oil counter on Mindsplice Apparatus. And instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each oil counter on Mindsplice Apparatus.
I
Shane, this
kind
is
of like
pretty
this
good.
card. Yeah, I kind of like this card.
This is a very
Wow.
good card.
That with like some proliferating as well. Like, damn.
And it's non-legendary too, so you can have multiple in a standard deck. I feel like this can get out of control pretty quickly.
I
Ooh.
think this is a card that probably gets worse in multiples, though.
Yeah, because it's
Why?
already gonna have the. I mean, would it get worse?
So, say for example, I have one of these already in play, and it's got like 2 or 3 oil counters on it. Do I really need to draw another one of them? I feel like it's a dead draw at that point.
Yeah, it could be a dead draw.
Doesn't
You're already
hurt
getting
that
like the -3.
Like, how much of a discount do you need to be? Like, how much of a discount do you need to be getting in order for it to be relevant? Because I look at it like, if you're playing your deck of instants and sorceries that are all like 7 or 8 mana or something like that, like, you're probably just going to die if you don't draw this card. And even if you do draw this card, your deck is so slow, you're probably still going to die.
Well, David, if you're playing spells that have an X in the mana cost, it's pretty solid.
In standard, are there that many?
Spoiler alert,
Couple.
we will talk about one next.
Oh shit. Oh, this is a good card. I like this card.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good too.
Yeah.
I think it's all right. I think we've seen them before. These kind of
Right.
effects, like, they sound really good, but I feel like they never quite play as expected.
Hey, cheaper spells are never bad.
That's
It's not.
true.
Don't get me
I
wrong.
agree with Shane.
It's definitely not. It's a powerful effect. I just think that it coming in at 4 mana, it probably is a little slow.
I will agree to that.
Unless you're running it with green where you can ramp into it quicker. Speaking of green, that was the final rare, so let's move on to just 2 more cards that are not rare, just to fill up this video. First one is Tyvar's Stand. Tyvar's Stand is X and a green for an instant. It says target creature you control gets +X and gains hexproof and indestructible till end of turn.
This card is so good, dude.
Very good card.
I'm going to stop you right there, and you didn't read the best part about this card. That flavor text is amazing.
Yeah, we'll talk about the story in a minute. I'll read the flavor text in a minute.
Oh wow, you're just gonna tease him like that?
All right. I'll read it. It says, when they write songs about this battle, I will make sure your name is forgotten, devil.
I definitely
That's
feel like
is
you
that-
needed some more bass in there. You
Devil.
You got it like you're lecturing me.
When they write songs about this battle, I will make sure your name is forgotten, devil.
There we go. I can see why
Much
you
better.
didn't go into acting.
I think that's pretty good. That was pretty good, man.
You're right. I'm pretty stoked on this.
Dude, this in Ivy, that's a finisher. By the
Dude,
way.
this in Ivy is, I hate Ivy.
Yeah, I know. But this is a finisher, dude.
It's a pretty good one.
That's what I always kind of lacked in that deck was like it did all the cool things, but it never really did the win.
It's just missing trample.
That is true.
That's
true.
I feel like to an extent, I kind of hate these cards. We're getting more and more of them in green, where it's like the 1 mana instant protect your thing, give it indestructible, protection, hexproof, whatever it may be. I feel like this is just like green's version of a counter spell.
I mean,
Oh, I'm here for it, dude.
guess.
No
But,
complaints over here, baby.
Going back and talking about Mindsplice Apparatus, this and that card pair really well together.
It pairs really well together, but I think this card honestly is playable just the single green mana.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah,
Hexproof indestructible. Let's go. I'm just saying the flexibility there to like, yeah, it can protect whatever you need, and then if you are trying to push for damage and win the game, there we go. I'm for this card big time.
David, you want to talk about the story real quick now?
No.
Why?
Didn't read this part.
Is this Tibalt?
It is
Yeah,
Tibalt.
that's Tibalt and that's Tyvar, and Tibalt apparently was like turned off camera. I'm sorry, completed off camera.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that we didn't get a card of him, huh?
He's got like
maybe
a
we will.
blade for hand, dude.
Maybe we'll get some little just like, oh, by the way, Tibalt was completed.
I don't know, but I did hear that the storyline for this, like going along with Tyvar's like portion in their assault team thing, was pretty dope. So I have to check it out at some point.
Yeah. Moving on to the final card. This is just a common, actually. This is a Planar Disruption. Planar Disruption is 1 and a white for an enchantment. Aura, enchant artifact, creature, or planeswalker. Enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated.
I don't see plain standard.
It will see play in a lot of places. This is a
Right.
strictly better pacifism. Yep.
Damn. At common, jeez.
At common. Yeah, this is... What was the other card, David, that was also like this?
Pacifism.
Not just pacifism. There's another one.
There's so many of them at this point.
So this ability.
There's 2 main ones.
Well, then what is it, Hunter?
Arrest. But it's even better than that because it can enchant more than just a creature.
Yeah, the artifact and planeswalker here is pretty cool. I like how
Oh,
it makes it to where your planeswalkers can't attack.
Yeah, dude, that's a problem.
I mean, shutting off a planeswalker's abilities is beautiful.
I know. I'm just kind of goofing around here.
I know. But yeah, this is a huge, like, this card, if you're doing a sealed event, play all of them.
You're winning.
Yeah.
I mean, you're winning until they drop like destroy target enchantment.
That is true. But this is very good removal.
It is. It still is good.
So that is going to do it for us today. David, what was your favorite card from today's spoilers?
I'm gonna go back and jump back with Kethek. Mainly because it's completely biased and I love Rakdos.
I love it. Fits up your alley. Shane, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, dude. Tyvar Stan, 100%.
All right. And I am actually going to go with Mindsplice Apparatus, making things cheaper. Seeing those oil counters actually matter. I haven't really seen something too powerful with the oil counters yet. But I think Mindsplice Apparatus has the ability to. So we'll see. Comment down below what your guys' favorite card was from today's spoilers. And while you're down there, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Check the description where you can follow us on our Instagram, our Twitter, and our TikTok. That is @GuysThatMagic for each one. Especially our Instagram, where not only do you see all the rares and mythics that we talked about today, but more uncommons and commons that are spoiled throughout every single day. We post them all. And until the next video, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Love you.
Bye-bye.